vuelven a la tierra en que nacieron, al embrujo incomparable de su sol. Todos vuelven al rincón de donde salieron, donde acaso floreció más de un amor.
Childhood, because you have mentioned in several interviews the kind of music that you listened to as a child, and how musical your family was and is, and also that you have an unusual background in terms of that your family is very diverse. It comes from very different places, and so I think that's very interesting in your formation as a musician.
Well, first, my family, on my mother's side, my grandmother was born in Galicia, in Spain, the north of Spain. And it's probably why I like bagpipes. And my mother's father was born in New Orleans, in the city of New Orleans. His mother was French. So my mother was born in Cuba. And then on my father's side, his father was born in, he was English, he was born in St. Lucie. He came from St. Lucie, actually. I'm a little bit confused about that part of the family, because my father and his father didn't talk to each other for a while. They had some kind of problem, and I didn't get to meet him until very late in his life. But he was in, that's where Blades, this big argument about Blades or Blades, and people in Latin America call me Blades, but my grandfather was English, and that happens even with Samuel Lewis. It's Panama, have people coming from all over the place. So again, from my father's side, his father was English, and my grandmother, his mother, was born in Panama when Panama was a part of Colombia. So she was Colombian. And then my father was born in Santa Marta, really, because my grandmother was pregnant and she was visiting family. So she had him in Santa Marta and then brought it to Panama, but he's Panamanian. But so I'm the only one who was born there. I mean, it's very strange. And that's true of Panama. We come from all over. You have coasts on both sides. It's an island on tierra firme, basically. And because of it, we were always open to all types of influences. I grew up in a house where no did not exist as far as possibility, and where education was always important for the family. So I grew up without believing that things were not possible, and I think that reflects also in our taste in so many different things, such as music. The DJs played just about any kind of music. The DJs in those days were not oriented by publicity constraints, and music had no race. Today, I mean, unfortunately, the radio pretty much caters to a certain demographic or a certain type of economic possibility, whereas in Panama, they played you a cumbia, and then they played you Frank Sinatra, and then they played you Mozart, and then they played you Tito Puente, and then they played you Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. And so we grew up listening to all types of music, and it was a natural thing. So therefore, we absorbed all of that, and it became part of the way we looked at the world. Was very different from perhaps a perspective which existed in other countries.
What was your favorite music growing up? Rock
and roll. And it's funny because a lot of people, I remember I was once with Johnny Carson at the Johnny Carson show, and I mentioned to Johnny that the fact that we had seen the Beatles in Panama 1 week after they had been seen here in the United States. Because the U.S. presence in the Canal Zone, there was a TV station. So the Ed Sullivan Show was broadcasted in Panama 1 week after. So we had heard the song. I had heard the song, She Loves You, and I didn't know who sang it, who were the people. And then I saw him and I thought, my God, because somebody had said, some guys with funny hairstyles. So then we saw him, and that's how connected we were to what was going on. So rock and roll for me was, when I saw Frankie Lyman in a movie called Rock, 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 that I begged my mother to please take me. I was about 9, 10 years old. And it was a Rock, 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 and they showed it in a movie theater called Cecilia, which is no longer there. And and Bill Haley in the comments singing "See You Later, Alligator," and I thought, wow, that's cool. When I saw Frankie Lyman, Lyman was about 13 years old, and I saw him and I said, that's what I want to do. And my mother said, yeah, sure, you're going to do it.